Hey everybody, this is Tom Mason and this is 100 Days of Making Minis, day 20. And today I got to do some painting of miniatures, which is very exciting, very relaxing. It's nice to break away from sculpting for a little bit and start working on some of these awesome miniatures I have in my collection. So I haven't really painted, with the exception of this one figure, this Grimdolf from Hasselfree Miniatures. Super awesome dwarf wizard miniature, inspired by Gandalf, obviously. Anyways, I haven't sculpted any, or I haven't painted anything in years since that guy. So very excited to get back into it, and I want to show you some of the cool things I've got working on to help me be a better painter, or more efficient painter, because I'm not planning on trying to go for any sort of award-winning level. I'm just excited to paint some minis that look nice on the table, maybe a little better, and yeah, so here, let me show you what I got. All right, so as you remember a few weeks ago, I painted up a Relic Blade Pigman. As you can see, I've got a couple more ready to go. But I wanted to tell you real quick about some of the things I'm doing to make my painting life easier. So number one is I made these 3-inch long dowels. These are 1-inch dowels that I cut down to 3 inches. We've got sticky tack on them, and a lot of people use old paint bottles and stuff, but I figured, hey, this is similar to how I use for my miniature sculpting stands, and it lets me have a nice piece to grip on, because something I used to always happen whenever I would paint as a kid is I would always have to felt like bracing the miniature on the head, and I would invariably rub paint off. So with this, I can just grip it and it feels stable. I don't feel like I need to support it with my finger in any way. So that's great. So I've got a bunch of these that I made, stuck a bunch of miniatures I'm working on. Obviously, like I said, my Relic Blades, and then 2 minis I'm going to use for my Rogue Star team. One is this GDF Ilarion, I think they're called, from Bombshell Miniatures Counterblast game. And then this is a, what's her name? Maybe Sophie from Relic Knights. And I love this miniature. It's super awesome power armor, but fun anime. And this is what I've been working on today. I'm doing kind of a white-gray color scheme, which again is something kind of new to me, and I think it's gonna look really cool when I'm done. But white was just such a hard color to paint when I was younger, but picked up a lot of tips along the way, so I'm hoping that'll come out well. The next thing that I've done to make my life easier is I learned about making a wet palette, which is super awesome, because I usually water down my paints anyways. But in the past, I'd used this cheap plastic mixing palette, and it just, as you can see, gets filthy, and it's almost impossible to clean out. Paint, once it's dry, it wants to stick there, and it's very difficult to clean, becomes a mess, and it gets to become difficult to tell exactly what you're mixing. So did some research, found out how to make one of these. It's just a wet paper towel with a piece of parchment paper on it with some water in there, and you can mix right on it. You just change this paper every now and then if you need to, and it keeps the paint nice and moist. If you end up getting a bunch out and need to leave it for later, it'll still be there and be usable. The last thing goes along with these stands, and this is something that I made for myself. It's pretty basic, but when I first made these, I would be painting and set them like that, and or put them on a shelf when I was done. But they'd always be like this, very precarious. Fortunately, these two this is fairly light, and this is a plastic, but these are metal, and they're a little heavier, so they want to fall a lot easier. So I made this little rack here. You just slot them in, and they're not going anywhere. Nice and stable. So, hope I get to paint a little more tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but hopefully I'll finish this character over the next week or so. But got a lot more sculpting to do, things to work on. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.